Pictures up. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Robert from Machado Visuals, and today we're on location, and I'm joined by my super hipster friend.
Hipster. Not that hipster. Just kidding.
You're pretty hipster. Rosemary, we met through a couple mutual friends and through kind of UNLV. So please introduce yourself and tell us about some of the work you do.
So I'm Rosemary. Do I look at the lens or the camera, or do I look at you? Who do I
You can look at me.
Okay, I'll look at you.
There's an audio version too. So.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, I'm Rosemary Fajardo. I'm kind of like a jack of all trades because I like doing a lot of things at once.
Yeah.
So I used to be a full-time freelance videographer, but now I do social media and micro-content video for Vegas.com. And now I'm also starting a blog and trying to push more to be like an influencer on Instagram.
Yeah. Was there anything specific that led you towards that route?
The influencer route?
Yeah.
The fact that I wanted to get free food.
Free food.
Yep.
Free food is a big thing. And travel too.
Yeah, free travel. That would be very ideal.
That's,
yeah.
I mean, it's hard to turn that stuff down.
Yeah, that's honestly like.
Did you see that story a couple of weeks ago with like how the influencer went back and forth between a hotel and like the hotel was? I'll need to send that to you.
Okay, yeah, send it to me. I have no idea
it was a really good story about influencers and this hotel was like just bashing them on like publicly online. It was pretty wild. Anyways, not to scare you from
I didn't
that.
know it was like that.
No, it was a specific like a hotel. Anyway, it was like the snarky. Anyways, so like tell us about your background in visual storytelling.
So, I guess my background started back in high school. I had a Sony Cybershot.
Dude, I think that was probably my first one too.
Yeah, and I don't know, I just really love taking pictures of my friends and of memories. Because I always like looking back and be like, oh yeah, I did that when I was 12. Look how weird I look.
When I was 12. When did you get your first camera?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe when I was like 15. That makes more sense, right? That's high school days. And yeah, I got, I tried to be like historians of my clubs that I was in because I just always liked taking photos.
Dude, I did that stuff too. That's how I got into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Key Club historian.
Key Club, woo!
And then the photo club, yeah. That was a fun time.
Oh,
So yeah.
we didn't have a photo club.
Oh.
You're cooler.
Bummer. Anyways, yeah, keep going.
I got my first DSLR thanks to my mom. Shout outs to my mom for getting me the Canon T2i.
T2i, dang, you got lucky because my first one was the T1i.
Oh, whoa.
That thing was a piece of garbage. That thing sucked.
Really?
And like we always talk about like, oh yeah, the camera doesn't matter. That camera specifically was awful. Like that camera, you couldn't even do. It only did 1080p at 20 frames per second.
Oh, whoa! It's not even 24.
It wasn't even
sad.
24. It was 20. I was like, what the heck is this? And then so it only did 720p at 30 frames, which is fine at the time. But like you couldn't change your settings. Like you couldn't.
It was just like one fixed setting.
It wasn't. It was like pretty much in movie mode. It was program. It was basically programmed. It was like you can't change your shutter speed. You can't change your aperture. I was like,
a T1i, really?
Dude, T1i. Yeah, the T2i was the first one that you started to be able to change your settings.
Oh, gotcha.
Anyways, so yeah, so you got your first camera, you got your first DSLR.
Yeah.
And then how did that progress? How did that evolve?
So that was mainly for photos. I didn't hit the video stage yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I transitioned more to video when I got a GH4.
Okay.
And
so how far along was that gap, like in that window?
I think, oh man, I'm trying to remember. So I had my T2i in junior year of high school, and then I got my GH4, I think, junior year of college. So, what, 4-year gap? Yeah, that's a 4-year gap.
Were you doing anything like in the professional space at that point? Like,
no, the once I got the GH4, that was like the kick of like, okay, I'm going to try to freelance.
Now I'm going to start, yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that was the start. That was in May 2015 when I went to Japan, and then I made my Japan video. And that's what kind of kicked me off for my portfolio.
Yeah, just using all your travel footage?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's how I pretty much started getting my gigs slowly but surely.
So what kind of gigs did you start doing like in your early career?
Mostly, some of my friends who are in fashion, they wanted me to do more like a behind the scenes, like how they do their day, how they start off, or how they work, and just stuff like that.
Like general
And,
doc stuff.
yeah, like mini doc stuff. But it was all B-roll, so I didn't really consider it as a doc. And then I used to do like my friends' events. Like I just did recaps back when.
So basically doc stuff. That is doc stuff.
Yeah.
B-roll events, like
Yeah. I'm a big B-roll person.
that's doc work. And like what I've noticed too is like just having the ability to navigate that space really helps, especially here in Vegas. You know, there's always something rolling through. There's always something happening. Like there's always an event that needs to be covered. Always something that needs to be captured and documented. So I talk about this a lot, but like having that documentary background really helps with that. So as you started kind of developing these, like kind of going through all these gigs, how did you go about with kind of creating your own defining your own style?
My style, I always just leaned more candidness. I don't know if does
Natural,
that count. Yeah,
yeah.
like natural.
Verite.
I don't like telling people to be like, oh, can you do that again for camera?
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm all about genuineness.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just doesn't feel the same. And before, I really wanted to shoot for music festivals. Like that was like my big thing because I had a big music festival phase.
Dude, I mean, they're fun.
Yeah, but when I interviewed Lindsay Cook, and she was telling me that most of the stuff isn't genuine. I was like, maybe I don't want to do this stuff anymore.
Yeah, it depends. It's a little bit of it's a little bit of both. And I think it also depends on who you ask to. Like sometimes especially like weddings, because I know you've done a lot of weddings, and like I've done a lot of weddings, and like if I see something that's like particularly like visually like stimulating, I'll maybe ask them to like, hey, can you do that again? Can you stop what you're doing, but just do it over here? But like kind of so that way it's like it's not so much staged. It's just so much I want to manage light and like
Yeah.
I want it to look a certain way, but like maintaining that like genuine aspect of just do what you're gonna do, just do it over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a huge fan of that verite style too. Like I always hate, I don't know, maybe because would you say you're an introvert?
I used to be extro, now I'm intro.
Really?
Yeah, I keep track.
You keep track.
I take
have a
the
log.
test.
Yeah, I have a log. I take it every year.
I actually do. How do you know?
Anyways, I think I've always been like super introverted, and I don't know. I don't like talking to people. As weird as that sounds, but like if I'm working and I'm like shooting something, I'm like shooting someone doing so, especially if it's like a stranger, someone I don't know. I don't want to go up to them and be like, hey, like I don't know.
I hate doing that too.
Like especially or like if you need to ask someone to get a testimonial or like an interview, like I get anxiety. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. Interviews aren't as bad because, well, if they know they're going to get interviewed, then it's not as bad.
But if it's like you're going up to someone like you completely like don't know, it's like,
and you're like, hey, can you do this, please?
yeah.
And then when they say no, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. So, so you're really into the downtown artsy scene.
Yes, I am.
What's so appealing about it to you?
Just the fact that the arts culture has grown within the past like 3 or 4 years. Because before then, like a lot of people say that downtown was really sketchy and stuff. And I mean, I never experienced it when it was sketchy. I am lucky enough to experience it when the arts started growing. Like I guess like when First Friday started coming here. And I don't know, it's just I started gravitating towards the people who were always downtown because I noticed that they were all creative, like DJs, painters, artists, photographers.
Yeah, design, like all that, the whole.
Yeah, all those things. And so I just wanted to surround myself with those people. And I didn't really know anyone like that until I hit like the downtown scene.
So
And,
did you do a lot of like networking here too and stuff like that?
Yeah, but the trick is I don't think of it as networking. I just think of it as making friends.
Making friends. I mean, they're pretty synonymous, really. It's just kind of a game of semantics, but that's that. especially for me, because like I said, like I'm a real introvert. Like I don't really like going out to like, it's
Party.
yeah, or like just going out and like meeting people. Like I like meeting people. It's just it takes a lot for me to like.
Yeah, it takes your energy out. I mean, that's what an introvert is.
So like, how did you go about like making like networking? Like how did you go about meeting other creatives like in the downtown? Or were there like specific events or like how did that?
I mean,
pan
I
out?
just went to a lot of events. Like,
What kind of events?
The Rabbit Hole was a very big part of my downtown, I guess, like networking.
Yeah.
I just met a lot of people through there. That was really a really big outlet for me because I used to do their videos, their recaps for every monthly they had.
So for those who don't know, like, what is the Rabbit Hole?
So the Rabbit Hole is a beat collective here in Las Vegas. There's just a bunch of, I think there's like 12 of them now, and they all create music, or they're a DJ, or they're both, and they just try to, I don't know, expose like a different underground side.
Underground,
of Vegas.
yeah.
So like there are a lot of, I don't really know how to describe beat scene, but well, I guess I did a doc on them too. But how they described it is, it's when you expect the unexpected type of music. There's no like build up and drop. It's just weird shit, but cool shit.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's cool. And that's actually a really good segue to my next point. It's like, because you've done a lot of stuff for Rabbit Hole. Like, how did that whole start? Like, how did that start?
I met a couple people on Instagram.
So Instagram.
Yeah,
So,
I've made a lot of my friends through Instagram too, actually.
networking through Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy how like social media like plays a huge role in what we do, like how we how we meet people. Because like even I, like myself, I've like I can name off of 5 friends right now that I only know on Instagram, like that don't even live in Vegas. That but like
and you haven't met them in
yeah,
person
we've
yet.
never met before, but
Yeah.
we're still homies. So it's
Yeah.
crazy how I don't know. It's crazy how social media is like so.
I love social media.
Yeah, it's like so pervasive, but it's like so. I don't know, it's such an integral part of like our lives. But yeah, so you met some people through Instagram, and then
Yeah, so the guy that was you just here, David Cuff,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was one of the people that I met.
oh, okay,
Yeah. And the other person was Jeb, and he was telling me he's a member of the Rabbit Hole. And so he's like, "Oh, I'm playing next month. Come watch me DJ." And so
Yeah.
I did, and that's when I did my first really shitty video.
So you just brought your camera in.
Yeah, I just
and-
brought my camera, and I was shy because I was just shy because I never really filmed like that before, like for an event before. And I had this really big LED on my camera because
Really?
I had
Oh,
just gotten it,
man.
and I was like, oh yeah, I want to test it, but it was really dark. So I didn't want to be that asshole who shined a light in their face while they were
Wow.
DJing.
Rosemary had an on-camera LED.
Yeah, I know. And then I realized that I hated on-camera LEDs.
That's amazing. Well, I mean, at least you learned that like early on.
Yeah.
So yeah, how did that turn out? And then did that just blossom into like
It was
a
just
million
awesome.
butterflies of friendships, or?
Yeah, well, pretty much. I became friends with everyone at Rabbit Hole, and I always went to their monthly every month.
Because I'm sure other artists would see that and be like, hey.
Yeah. So I've gotten like a few gigs from that too. And I don't know, I've had a lot of other musician friends, not in Rabbit Hole, but like they play guitar and they throw events. And I also have like painter friends who throw events, like gallery events. And
Oh,
so
cool.
I was just that person who would do
You
the
did the recaps
Yeah.
of like the,
Yeah.
the art events. That's really cool. You even tried your hand at DJing at one point.
Yeah. That was fun.
Where did that come from?
I've just always really loved music. And I mean, I've always wanted to DJ, but I just never really had anyone teach me, and I never had the equipment.
Yeah.
And somebody from the Rabbit Hole, Julian, taught me. So I got to play at like the first all-female Rabbit Hole event.
Oh wow.
That was my debut. But I don't call myself a DJ.
How was it though?
It was really fun. I drank half.
Was it super
I-
super nerve-wracking?
Yeah, I drank half a bottle of wine.
Before or after?
Before, obviously.
Oh man.
But it was a good time. And I don't normally drink, but sometimes
that
I
night I did.
that night I did because I was nervous as hell.
That's crazy. So did your relationship with the Rabbit Hole, did that spur any kind of meaningful relationships that from then on?
Well, I stopped doing videos for them because I was just trying to go somewhere like do some other gigs.
Yeah,
I feel
trying
like
to branch out.
Yeah, I was trying to branch out. Like I did more weddings, and it was taking up my time, and so like I had to stop doing videos for them.
Were they paying you?
Sometimes.
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 So that, I mean, that's a big factor too.
Yeah.
Obviously, weddings. That's what I always equate. I always tell my friends, like I always equate weddings with like an ex, like a really bad ex. That's like
What?
so it's like sometimes like you'll always have to deal with them, kind of to a point, and like they're always gonna be there, but you don't necessarily like want to, you know.
Yeah.
That's the kind of way I see it. Because like I'm not like I said this with in the last episode with Mike. Like I'm not really too fond of weddings, but they're there. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll have to deal with you because I gotta pay rent.
I gotta pay my bills, man.
Exactly. So so you started getting into weddings, and then where'd you go from there? You said you went freelance for a while.
Yeah. So after I graduated college, I just freelanced for a year and a half, and then I got my job at Vegas.com. And this is really recent. This was last May when I started Vegas.com.
Wow,
Yeah. So I'm hitting my 1 year soon.
that's pretty cool. So what are you shooting on now?
So I'm shooting on an A7S Mark II.
Sony game.
And that's for my video, and then for my photos, because I'm doing more photos now, I use the Fujifilm X-T10.
Super hipster.
Yeah. That's why I want it.
It's really cool. It's a neat little cam. I've been looking at the X100F. And so tell us about your kind of evolution of cameras, because you said you were on the GH4.
Yep.
Was there something specific that made you go to the A7S, the Sony?
Sony was having their deal of buying other brands so they could switch to Sony. And my GH4's touchscreen was broken, so it was the perfect time for me to like switch out. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was at BNC when I got my camera last year in like April or May or something like that. And the guy bought my GH4 for like 800 or 900. I was like, what the hell? This touchscreen is broken.
But he knew that.
Yeah, I told
He
him.
was like, yeah.
He was like, I don't care. Here's 900.
Wait.
Buy a Sony.
This was at BNC?
Yeah. Sony was having the deal. Yeah. So yeah, I was like, here, take my credit card. And there goes
Just
$2,000.
take my money.
I was like, here goes $2,000.
So what's it like? How's it been? How's the Sony life treating you?
Oh no, I love it because back then I would always shoot low light like events.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Like the rabbit hole was always dark.
Especially rabbit hole, yeah.
Yeah, it was super dark. And I always felt bad when I had my GH4. It was kind of grainy because I was pushing it at 6400 ISO.
Oh, dude, with the GH4?
Yeah.
R.I.P. I would not go above 1600 on that thing. Because I used to shoot on the GH4 too, and I would not push it again above. I would just open up as much as I can and just leave it. If it's dark.
I mean, I didn't want to push it to 64, but I had to.
Yeah, dude, it's rough. The GH5 looks really cool.
I actually used a GH5 this past January at a gig
How
because they
was-
rented it out for me.
Dude, how did you like it?
I actually really liked it, and it made me a little nostalgic for my GH4.
Dude, I liked it too, because I've used one a couple times. Like, I've used one of my buddies, and it's like, like the same thing. It's like nostalgic, but it's like, it takes really good video. And it's like, it's got like, it's got all the pro features you kind of want in a camera. Mm-hmm. I'm really hoping that the A7S III has 60p 4K.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
That'd be super. If it has that, I might just have to buy one.
Wait till a Sony deal. I'm just kidding. You already have a Sony.
Yeah, I got a lot of Sonys. So what kind of work? So kind of coming around to like the film and TV industry. Like, what kind of work have you done in that realm?
So I actually mainly for the film and TV industry, I've mainly PA'd actually.
So tell us about that.
Yeah. So before, cam mopping for like film and TV stuff really intimidated me because they usually use bigger cameras, and I try to stay away from bigger cameras.
Big camera system.
Big camera
It's
systems.
scary. The first time
Yeah.
you look at it, it's like, what?
Yeah.
What the heck is this button?
So, but I love helping people, and I love being on set. So I'm always down to PA.
Mm-hmm.
So I freelance PA'd for probably like a year and a half too.
You don't do that anymore.
I still do every now and then.
Now and then.
I'm just really picky. And yeah, I cam up mostly for like convention stuff now. It's not a lot, but I've been lucky enough to be a cam out for AVN for 2 years, so that was fun.
That sounds. Do you have any cool stories?
I shot Lil Wayne this year. That was really fun.
That sounds crazy. But yeah, I think PA's like it's such an underrated like position and role on set. It's like one of the coolest like positions because like you get to, well, one, you're helping everyone out, but like two, you get to like work with each department. Like it's not department specific, and you get to like you get to just observe.
Yeah, and that's perfect for me because I just like doing a lot of things.
Yeah, it's like cool. It's like you get thrown into this fire and you can just watch how these people are starting. You know, it's like, because I remember there have been a couple times where I've been on movie sets and I was kind of like a camera PA, like a camera trainee kind of role. So like I was just kind of watching everything and I was like, my mind was being blown with I was just watching and observing, and it's just so wild how just watching and like,
Yeah, you can learn a lot of stuff while being a PA, which is awesome.
it's ridiculous. So you said camera operating intimidated you. Is there something that in that industry that you'd want to kind of pursue more?
Nope.
Would it be No? You don't even...
Nope.
Even if you learn bigger camera systems, you wouldn't want to learn that?
Well, I got to use an Ursa Mini Pro too at AVN because they just had an extra Ursa Mini Pro on the last 2 days.
Yeah.
So that was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, it was really bad for my back because it was like...
Oh, you were shoulder mounted?
Yeah.
Were you on the shoulder?
No,
Oh.
I actually didn't even have a mount. Like it was just a bare bones Ursa Mini Pro.
What? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was fun.
That sounds like a bad time.
Yeah, but
Even
it was still
even
fun.
if you're handheld, like I can still see like, ugh.
Yeah, and that's the only thing too that why I kind of stopped freelancing for a bit. My back was really getting really out of shape.
Invest in an easy rig or hit
Yeah.
up Camp Rhino.
Oh yeah,
available.
nice plug.
I'm always trying to get my friends to come to Camp Rhino with me, and they're like, "Oh yeah, next week."
You're like,
Especially
"Yeah,
Mike. Mike says
sure."
that all the time. I've been trying to get him to go for years. He is not
Go to
into
Camp
it.
Rhino, Mike.
I know, seriously. So you went through bits of the film program at UNLV.
Yep.
So what is that like? Because you weren't a film major.
No, I wasn't.
So how does that work?
Okay,
But we've
but-
had film classes together.
Yeah, we have.
So how does that work?
So my major was interdisciplinary studies, and it's kind of like a customizable major. And so you can choose like 2 or 3 areas of study. So I chose 3. Film was one of them, and then I also studied marketing and hospitality. And the way the program works, or at least for UNLV, you needed to take 6 classes in each area study, and like I think 4 or 5 of them had to be upper division. And I kind of like cheated my way around the system because I didn't want to take like film 101.
Yeah, intro, FIS 100.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, I still took the marketing starter marketing classes because I had a marketing minor. But yeah, for the most part in film, I just kind of asked like, "Hey, can I skip this and go straight to cinematography?"
Hey, that's the smart way to do it.
Yeah, because I just knew from the start I didn't want to do anything narrative. I just wanted to be more technical in the film
Interesting.
program. Yeah.
Technical, like how so? Like technical.
Like technical, like learning about the technical side of cameras.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not really about the screenplay or the
movie,
study,
yeah.
like the study of film or anything like that. That is just
Film
definitely not
theory
me.
and-
Yeah. Nope, not me.
Interesting. So from what you've seen from your kind of brief exposed bits of the film program, like what do you think of the film program? Like what do you, like what's your perspective on like film school?
I think film school was great for meeting people who were obviously pursuing the same thing.
Right.
So that, like going back to how I network, I mean, film school is a great way to network with other people who are trying to be who you're trying to be too. Like, because film is the reason I joined film is because it's such a collaborative, like, career. Well,
Absolutely, yeah. It's like it's such a. I mean, yeah, it is. It's like I talked about this again. Like if you watch a movie, like look at the credits, and like there are like thousands of people, like usually in the credits. Like I've never seen that many people like on a photo shoot. You know.
Yeah.
It's like it takes so many people working together for a common cause, and I think that's what's so appealing
Yeah.
about it. So like the networking aspect, and that was actually a big reason that I decided to go, that I really wanted to pursue the film program. Is I think my number one reason was the networking, and I think for me I think that was probably one of the most valuable things that I've taken away from film school, because I've met people that I still work with now, you know, and also some of the mentors that you have and the teachers and instructors, like they, like kind of on an individual level, like meeting them, meeting some of them kind of really changed my how I see things, and literally changed my life. And you know, it's weird because like there's always the debate of like whether film school is like worth it or not, and it's like, I don't know, it's such a cop-out answer, but like it really does depend. Like it depends on the program, it depends on who you'll meet. You're not going to know who you're going to meet. It depends on, we all essentially get the same information. It's just kind of what you do with that information. Like I had a very profound impact from Waldman, the cinematography instructor.
Same.
And it's like, and he doesn't even teach there anymore. So like, I don't even know what it's like for film students that are currently in that program, because like, I think that he single-handedly like changed the way my perspective on, you know, film and like visual storytelling, not even film, just visual storytelling as a whole, whether it be photos, videos, you know, whatever, just looking at something visually. And yeah, he's not even there anymore. He's teaching over. He's back in
somewhere in Southern California.
Cal State Long Beach.
Oh, Cal State Long Beach.
Yeah, and I'm like, dang, he was one of the single greatest assets of the film. So like now it's like I don't even know what the film program is like, because to me, that instructor and the networking were the two biggest takeaways that I had. So I don't know now. You know, it's different for each person. A lot of people were into the film theory and film history and stuff like that. You weren't. I'm starting to get into it now. I think after the facts, kind of getting sentimental. But like, I don't know. It depends. I don't know. It really depends.
Yeah, each person has their own preferences.
Yeah. But like as you said, like as I said, being a PA on set, you get to, if you just jump straight into it, you're literally thrown into the fire, and you're being thrown into professional work. So like, you're gonna learn a lot quickly when, you know, money's in the game, as opposed to if it's just some student film. Like, so
you have I feel like you get a different mindset.
Yeah.
When you're like actually on set and getting paid for it.
It's a lot more pressure.
Yeah,
it's like
you can't fuck up.
It's not just it's not just like, hey, I'm gonna, you know, yeah, whatever. I'll get a B. It's like, no, you're gonna get fired.
I know. No, you're not gonna get paid.
It's crazy. So yeah, I'm always interested in seeing what other people's perspectives, because I've seen a lot of people that have gone through the film program that have that are still just like they're crushing it. They're always busy, always doing work. And then I've seen people that go through the film program that are like struggling to find work, you know, and vice versa. I've seen people that haven't gone to film school are crushing it, and you know, it's just really dependent on the type of person you are. So circling back around to Vegas.com, you do social media, and what is this crazy title you have?
Well, we don't really have titles, but I manage the social media, and I shoot and edit the micro content that goes on the social media platforms. So anything under a minute, that was shot and edited by me, probably.
So how did you get linked up with Vegas.com?
Shout out to Heather. Heather for Feather. Yeah, no. So
who also went through UNLV Film, by the way.
Yeah.
Networking. Shout out. But yeah, so how did that work out? How did you link up with Heather, and how did they link you up with Vegas.com?
So Heather was actually teaching, I think, a lighting class in cinematography. Because I think Waldman was like in Brazil or something. I don't know. He was shooting something and he wasn't there. So I think it was Heather and Alfredo that was teaching a lighting class.
Okay.
It was all about Kino flows and all that.
Yeah.
And no, I just actually went up to her and was like, hey, I'm trying to like get into more film work. Can we exchange contact information? Which is rare. I don't really do that, but for
That's
something
pretty crazy. I don't know if I would do that either.
So I was really nervous to talk to Heather at that time.
You just
But-
kind of went up to her after class and like,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah, after a class. And then I worked with her again at Las Vegas Film Festival
Oh, cool.
2 years ago. Like she was doing BTS and I was doing the social media for it. Those are the only 2 times I've ever interacted with her.
Wow.
And then a year later, she's like, hey, would you be interested in doing social media for Vegas.com? So
Just out of the blue? Like,
yeah, just out of the blue. Because I don't know, maybe she remembered I did social media for
Right.
LVFF or
Right,
something
right.
like that. So yeah, they were looking for somebody who would do social media and shoot.
That's cool how like those random, like if you just, it's like Inception. If you just plant that idea, like the idea of you in someone's mind, and then a couple years down the road, they just call you up and be like, hey, got a job.
Hey, do you need a stable job?
A stable
Quote, quote.
income. That's great. That's so cool. That's so cool that how that happened and how just that simple act of you reaching out.
And I think Spencer also mentioned my name as well because he's also like he's my coworker, and so he told Roberto that I do social media and video as
Yeah,
well.
and actually, pretty much all of the Vegas.com staff is
from UNLV Film.
UNLV Film. Yeah, so that's interesting. I mean, again, circling back to like the networking thing, it's like one of the most valuable assets to have. It's like if like planting, like Inception, planting the idea of you in someone else's head, like they'll refer to you when they're trying to think of someone that needs to fill a position or something like that, and that's really cool. How
Yeah, it's all about relationships. That's like also like the one thing I learned about in marketing too. It's all about relationships and who you know. And so that's how I got most of my gigs. They're all referral. Like 90% of them were referral or Instagram.
that's super cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, me too. Like all of mine, probably 90%, or just pretty much all word of mouth referrals. Probably 10% of them are from online, like my website. Sometimes I'll get random emails from producers, be like, "Hey, we're coming to Vegas. We need a DP." So those are cool. But yeah, that's really cool. Like the power of the influence of just being a good person.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just keep on doing you, and the good people will
Like
come.
don't be an asshole.
Yeah, don't be an asshole or you attract assholes.
Yeah, exactly. That's really cool. So yeah, Vegas.com, you guys are putting out a ton of content. Is it mainly to Facebook?
It depends on what it is.
Okay.
Like if it's the short form content that I'm doing, it goes on like the Twitter, Facebook, and
So
Instagram.
kind of platform specific.
Yeah,
content.
but Facebook is our media platform pretty much.
Gotcha.
I mean, we have a YouTube, but it's all the leverage has gone on Facebook because Facebook's just trying to overtake the world. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's true. Facebook is like, it's crazy. But yeah, you guys are putting out a ton of content. You guys are doing like indoor skydiving,
That was so fun.
Axe Monkey. You guys did a thing on stripper robots.
Yeah, that was very strange.
Escape rooms. Yeah. So, how did you for the stripper robots? Like, what was that? What was that all about?
It was just
It was at Sapphire, right?
yeah, it was at Sapphire. It was only during CES week though, so they don't have
that
it.
makes sense.
Yeah, they don't have it now.
That makes sense.
So sorry for anyone who wanted to see the
Who
stripper
got
robots.
who got excited? I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Dang. Did you watch Black Mirror?
No,
Oh.
sorry, I don't watch anything.
I need to watch Black. Anyways, that's really interesting. So what is the brainstorming process like, and like how are they? Because assuming they're scripted and like thought out and pre-produced, like what is the pre-production process like, and like how do you go about choosing which like activity, like which adventure to go on?
Well, actually, a lot of the pre-production goes for the longer form content, which is more like Roberto and Spencer's side. Mine is actually more run and gun.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we do have to contact like the PR agency or the owner beforehand before we go there.
Sure.
Yeah, because I mean, they're our partners essentially too. So we're kind of just doing them a favor.
Yeah.
Because
it's advertising pretty much.
Yeah, it's free promo for them.
And more content for you.
Yeah, and more content for us. And yeah, just recently it's been more for our Vegas.com partners. Before it was just more downtown events that I knew about and that were unique. So I just went over there and run and gunned it. They were all my friends usually who were throwing events downtown.
So the short form stuff, you just kind of go there and just cover it pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I let them know beforehand that I'm going to come. It's not like I just show up.
Right.
Yeah.
So for those events, for the short form stuff that you do, how is that process? Is that process any different? Like in terms of Like, is it partners still? Like the Vegas.com partners, or like how do you?
Well, it just depends on what we're shooting. So I'm the one that shoots the Greater Vegas and Vegas Vibe series, because all of our content is like web series based, and so Vegas Vibes is more for like the unique events and places. So like the stripper robots and the pop-up cat cafe, and Greater Vegas is more like places to go outside of Vegas road trip wise,
Yeah.
because I really like hiking. And I thought it would be really cool to integrate, because a lot of people just think that Vegas is the strip, but like we do have nature-y places
I mean, it's like
to go
yeah,
to.
it's like anywhere else, pretty much.
Yeah,
So for the longer form stuff, like how involved are you in the pre-production process? And
I'm not at
you're
all.
Not at all.
I'm just the other cam op.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So is that your primary role on set for those stuff? You're just a cam
For
op?
the longer, yeah, I'm either cam op, or for bigger stuff, like we just shot with Death the Magic Dragon the other day. Like we hire out DPs for that, and I'm a PA, which is cool.
So going back to the PA role,
Yeah.
you just get to watch them.
Well, I kind of have no choice for that.
Well,
but
there you go. That too.
it's still fun.
So do you have any like distinct or like favorite memories from any of those adventures?
Like just straight like from Vegas.com.
Yeah.
There was this one time I did. Have you ever gone to Gold Strike Hot Springs?
I've heard about it a million times.
Yeah, so it's a hot spring hike, and it's by Hoover Dam. It's like a 2.5 hour one-way hike to get to the bottom of the Colorado River and all the hot springs. But we started at like 2 in the afternoon, and we had to hike the entire thing in the dark.
Oh my gosh.
Like we had to hike back in the dark.
You guys had lights though.
We had our iPhones.
Your iPhones.
Larissa she actually had one of those like hiker
Oh,
lights that
man.
you strap around your head. So yeah, that was fun.
Talk about being prepared.
Yeah, I know. It's because Roberto had to watch his football. But yeah, that was a really big highlight. Indoor skydiving was really cool. We just did pole position raceway last week, and so I got to race on the indoor race carts.
Did you ever do it before?
Nope.
Oh,
And
man,
it was so
they're-
cool because they go up to 45
They're
miles
so
per
fast.
hour. Yeah,
They're
they're
so
really
fast.
I was
That place
shaking
is-
for so long.
That place is so fun, and it's all electric too.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Which one? Yeah, dude. Pole position. Oh man. Anyways, so I noticed that you took your website down.
Oh yeah,
What is that all about?
I'm remodeling it.
Are you kind of rebranding? Like what? How? In what sense?
I'm not rebranding it. I'm adding another aspect to it, which is my blog.
Okay, gotcha.
So before it would
Building
just
that.
be my photo and video portfolio, but now I'm integrating a blog because I feel like a lot of it. Because I'm also trying to be an influencer
Right.
on Instagram, and so I feel like a lot of influencers also have a blog aspect to how they get gigs and stuff like that.
Right.
So plus I feel like Instagram captions aren't enough. I always have a lot more to describe, and so that's why I'm starting a blog.
Right. And like obviously like Instagram added that feature where you can add multiple pictures to a post, but it's hard to, visually tell that story with one little image.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that's where blog posts are really cool because like, you can mark them up however you want and,
And people can share them to your social
Right.
platforms.
right. And then that just drives more, engagement to your website. So are you still going to maintain like that portfolio aspect of it on your website or are you just trying to
Yeah, I am. It's going to be my portfolio and my blog.
Gotcha.
And it's going to be also linked to my YouTube, which is kind of on hold because my blog is about traveling and I haven't been able to travel recently. But come April, there will be more content.
Gotcha. So actually, we'll talk about that too in a sec. Traveling, but I noticed another one of your big trends is thrifting.
Yep.
How did that come about?
I just didn't have a lot of money, and so I went to a thrift store.
It's
and
simple enough.
Yeah, and I found out that you could get really good stuff for I don't know, like $2-3. So
That's crazy. So you just do you have like a collection of thrift stores you like usually like how do you find new one? I don't know.
I usually go to Goodwill. Like, there's always a battle between Goodwill and Savers, but I always go to Goodwill because I feel like their deals are better.
Interesting.
And I go to Buffalo Exchange, even though that's a little bit more pricier. They're picky, so they're more of a consignment store. They buy stuff from people and then they sell it.
Okay.
So I go there, and then I don't know, just random thrift stores. Like there's a thrift store just down the street that sells stuff for 50 cents. Like
So, and then when you go there, what do you mainly like? Do you have any goals like going in? Like, are you looking to get like clothes, or are you looking to get something specific, or you just
nope, I just go in.
just go in and just
Yeah.
an adventure? And we'll see what we
Because
get.
before I would have like this motive, like, oh, I'm gonna
Right.
find a good pair of shoes today, and then I don't find a good pair of shoes, and then I get disappointed.
Yeah. So having that like removing that expectation, kind of, it helps build that excitement. you
Yeah.
know? That's cool. That's really interesting. Because you recently found some filmmaking items.
Yeah. Well, those aren't thrift stores or pawn stores.
Pawn stores.
Yeah.
Pawn stores.
So that's different. But I mean, it's still like cheaper than what it normally is.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. So that was actually really recent. Like I just started going to pawn stores like 3 months ago. I've been thrifting for like 2 or 3 years now.
Wow.
And yeah, that's where I found my Fujifilm body. And
One of your cameras.
yeah, and then I also just recently found a crane too.
A freaking crane.
And
What the heck?
it was brand new.
I saw that on your Instagram feed, and I was like, "What the?" I was tripping.
Yeah, and everything works. Well, I mean, how it's supposed to work.
I was tripping. So,
Yeah.
how much did you get it for?
So I got it for 500 flat, but I paid like $25 for warranty in case I want to return it, just in case.
Oh, so they have a warranty
Yeah,
where they'll just give you your money back.
yeah. They just refund the entire
Interesting.
thing. Yeah.
Is that just like whenever you want, or like
No,
if there's something wrong with it?
It depends on the pawn stores, but Super Pawn is where I got it, and so you pay I think 5% of what the price is, and then you can return it within 15 days. Or if you
Okay.
pay 10% of the price, you can return it within 30 days. So yeah, I was like 15 days is a good time window.
Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, you're just SOL. Like
Yeah, pretty
much.
much.
You can't return it. Dang.
Yeah, it's a hit or miss with pawn stores.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's really cool though. Like that's like how much do they retail for?
$750.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got 30%
Someone just
off,
that's
pretty much.
wild.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on that. Have you seen that Ronin S? It's basically the same thing. Just DJI is making
Gotcha.
a new one.
I saw a Ronin M at a pawn store once.
That's oh man. I'm about to hit up some pawn stores.
Yeah, you should go to some pawn stores.
That's pretty wild. That's really cool though. But yeah, I'm waiting on that because they announced it at CES, the Ronin S. It's basically a handheld gimbal. Same people that make the.
Oh wait, no, I did see it then.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing looks cool.
It's not out yet, right?
No.
Okay, I thought so.
They said it should be out Q2, so I don't know. We'll see.
Soon. Hopefully.
But that thing looks cool. Because I've been using my A6500 a lot more, like a lot more, because it's such a robust little camera, and it's so nice to be able to bring that thing out, as opposed to my FS7.
yeah.
Like, could you imagine having me to lug all my FS7 crap out?
Yeah, do
just
your
to shoot
podcast
this?
with the FS7.
Oh.
That would be so funny.
That would be so annoying.
Then a lot more people would be taking pictures of
Yeah,
us right now.
the setup would be a little bit.
A little bit too much.
So yeah, that's really cool. And then so you do a lot of traveling too, or at least you did. You're not traveling now, you said.
Yeah, I've been slammed with a lot of work stuff. So, oh, and I injured my knee snowboarding. So
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't go out anywhere really.
So you do a lot of traveling solo.
Oh yeah, I did. Well, I used to, but I mean, I still do every now and then. I'm going to Thailand this April solo, so I'm excited for that.
I don't even.
You're like, what?
What the heck? How do you?
You're like, I can't.
I can't even.
speechless.
I'm trying to think of like I'm trying to imagine myself going somewhere so like I don't even know where to begin. So like what drove you to
Just go solo.
yeah.
Well, joining couch surfing really helped. So I'm part of a couch surfing community where you literally
Is that like an online thing?
yeah,
like a community.
There's a community. It's couchsurfing.org. So
Okay.
it's a legit community.
Is there an app for it?
Yes, there is.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy technology.
So that's when I first started traveling solo. But I mean, at the time, I wasn't staying with surfers. I just went to the meetups, like in LA and in different cities, and that's how I made a lot of my friends outside of Vegas. And then yeah, Frontier just had some banging deals for a round trip. All my, I think back in fall 2015, all my round trip deals were $40.
What the heck?
Yeah. So I literally just did day trips on the days that I didn't have class. So I like went to Denver, Columbus. Wait, no, not Columbus. Sorry, Cleveland, Cincinnati. I get those mixed up. I went to Cleveland and Cincinnati, Austin,
What airline?
Frontier.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought I mentioned that. But yeah, Frontier. And nowadays, I think their lowest deal is like, it's still $40. Oh, no, sorry. It was $30 back then. Now it's $40.
Oh, man.
So I just bought a trip to San Jose for $40. So I'm excited.
That's crazy. And you just go by yourself?
Yeah.
So do you use the couch surfing now or?
Yeah. And, well, nowadays I have.
Well, if it's a trade trip, obviously you don't really need to worry about that stuff, but like.
Well, I mean, yeah, but if I go for longer, I still couch surf. I mean, nowadays I've been traveling with my partner, Apollo, but we still couch surf. It's like when we went to Salt Lake City, we stayed with somebody there, and he actually came to Vegas last month, or like a couple months ago, and he stayed with, well, no, he was going to stay with us, but we met up. Anyways, but yeah, when I couch surfed in Europe, my host from Stockholm actually came from Vegas, and then we hosted her. So it's a really big cultural exchange, and that's why I love it so
That's
much.
cool, and you get to you get to embrace their culture, and then they vice versa. Do you like keep in contact with them?
Oh yeah, definitely. My friend, so I have a friend who lives in Berlin now, but he used to work in Vegas. And when I was in Berlin, I met up with him while he was in Berlin, and I couch surfed over there. So yeah, I've met up with same couch surfers in different cities.
That's
before.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dang. We're all about that networking.
Yeah, it's all about that networking.
Man, that's going to be this theme instead.
Oh, this is the theme, networking.
Theme of the episode, networking.
How to make more friends.
I like that title. That's a good title.
Making friends.
That's my title. So yeah, obviously being a visual creative, obviously you're going to bring your camera when you travel. Your Europe recap was a banger.
Thanks, man.
That thing was.
Thanks for watching.
I think every shot, it had a very photographic style, and like each shot had like a very timeless essence when I watched it. I thought that was really cool, and I loved how you like showed like each location where you were. Like,
Yeah.
The diversity of location just kind of, I don't know, it was really engaging. So that was a solo.
That was a solo 2-week Europe trip.
But I think in the video you're like with all your friends too. Like
Yeah, no, I was with couch surfers. The entire time I was with couch surfers. Or I was just by myself hanging out.
that is wild. So you just tag along with them, or you just meet up with them? Like,
Yeah, like one of my
is it
friends.
like a forum? Like how do you?
No, so there, like you can message people, and everyone has their own profile and references. So I usually don't hang out with people if they don't have references, unless I actually meet them in person.
Right.
So yeah, that's when so a funny story. In Paris, I almost stayed with a nudist.
Wow.
But
Why didn't you?
No, I got to the airport. I was like, "Hey, I'm in Paris now. What's your address?" He was like, "Oh, I put you on the calendar for next month." But luckily, somebody else reached out to me and was like, "Oh, if you reach an emergency, you can stay with me." So he's actually really cool because he is a music rigger.
Oh.
And that's all he ever does. And he's like rigged concerts for like Beyonce and Drake and like big names like that. So it was really awesome that happened. Because when I told people I almost stayed with a nudist, they were like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. That's wild. But yeah, I really enjoyed the recap, and I think it's a very nice change of pace from like all the travel films you see today, because they're all, Sam Calder, for what he did, everyone's just trying to be him now, and it's like really annoying.
Wait, I don't know who Sam Calder is.
You would if you saw his work.
Oh, really?
Basically,
I only know Casey and Peter.
yeah, it's. I mean, Sam Calder's really good, but ever since he kind of hit the game, everyone's just trying to emulate that style. Same thing with Casey, or same thing with Peter. They're such There's such big influences that people that are like starting up now, it's like they think that's good content, so they're trying to emulate that good content, and they're great storytellers, but I'm more leaning towards the aspect of finding your own voice, and finding your own, and that's why I think your Europe recap was cool, because like it was like distinctly, I think, your style, which I think was really cool about that.
Aw, thanks, man. Watch out for the Thailand one soon.
So you're working on it right now?
No, I'm going to Thailand on April 19th.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I'm be there for 2 weeks.
That'd be cool. And then so kind of the last kind of aspect around, I think the triangle that is Rosemary is like your love or affinity for food.
Yeah, all day, every day.
So obviously us as human beings, like obviously we love food, but like you find some of the coolest places, I think.
I try.
Like how does that work?
I use Yelp. Yelp is
Just
my
Yelp.
best friend.
Dude, Yelp was cool. I think actually I was in London 4 years ago, and I did a lot of stuff solo. I was with family, but like I took a few days like to myself, and I went on Yelp and found some of the coolest freaking things.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, Yelp is cool.
I found a place called Fuck Coffee in London. Thanks to Yelp.
Dude, I did this food tour in London. It was I found it. I think I found it on Yelp, but it was a food tour because London is such a culturally diverse place where like all these migrants, like all these people have come and kind of established in the different areas of London, surrounding London, and we went on a food tour where we literally stopped by each culture and sampled some of the best foods in that area.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Did you try Nigerian food?
No, I don't think I tried Nigerian.
I tried Nigerian food in London. Wait, was it London? Yeah, it was London.
How was it?
I would eat it again. I don't know what I ate, but I would eat it again.
I think London is one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite spot, like places I've traveled to because it's so diverse and it's I don't know. It's so
Something about it.
culturally rich and the historical value behind it's crazy. But yeah, so you use Yelp, and then obviously like we're here now. Because you know the owner.
Yep.
Hashtag networking.
Ooh, Jared, go Jared.
And then, do you ever find yourself trading services like for places that you find like?
So that's what I'm trying to work on.
Okay.
Yeah. Going back to the whole influencer route. I'm actually just now like, luckily enough that some people are reaching out to me.
Oh, cool.
And to be like, hey, there's this media day. Do you want to come? And like you can
Media
get
day.
complimentary items. Yeah, that's what I did. So my most recent post, I don't know if, oh yeah, you saw it because you commented on it. The drink with the mango on it. So they reached out to me and they're like, oh, there's a media day for our soft opening. You get 2 free complimentary items.
Wait, did they reach out to you because you tagged them?
No, they just reached out to me. They just found me. I don't know
the heck?
how.
They found you?
Yeah, they just found me. And they're just like, hey, we would like you to come to me today.
Did you tag the location or something?
No, I've never even heard of this company. But I mean, no, I take that back. I've probably seen photos of it because it's a very Instagrammable place, but it's only in LA and they just now opened in Vegas. And so they were reaching out, I guess, to like Vegas bloggers or influencers to obviously get their word out that they're here. Oh. And so, yeah, that just happened last Thursday.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Man, it seems like your Instagram is just a freaking like Grubhub of just networking and getting around.
I'm trying to inspire my friends.
That's crazy. I've been really slacking on the Instagram game lately. I don't think I've posted since the beginning of the year.
You haven't.
I know I haven't. I posted on the stories, but I don't know why I fell off of it. I'm trying to get back on because
it's a lot of work.
I used to schedule all my posts. I use a service where I can queue up posts, write the caption, hashtag, and just let it go. And then I think my queue ran up, and I just haven't really gotten back to it.
Yeah, I feel that struggle.
But I don't know. I think what it is, I've been focusing my energy on other things, probably like my YouTube channel and like obviously this podcast.
Yeah, you've been shelling out a lot of content on your YouTube channel.
I'm trying to. I'm doing it more so because it's just fun to do, and also going back to the thing with some of the top influences like Casey Neistat and Peter McKinnon, like a lot of the people who make filmmaking tutorials and guides. I'm just not a fan of how they relay that information. So it's like, rather than just complaining about it, why not just do it myself? Like one of the photographers I follow, Jared Polin, he was a really big advocate for that. Like he got pissed off because he saw a lot of videos that were just garbage. Oh. So he was like, screw it. I'm gonna start making videos. So,
yep.
It's a little bit of both. I don't really have too much traction right now, but I'm more so doing it just because it's fun to do. Sometimes companies will reach out to, like I think I had, my Cart Innovative.
Yeah.
They emailed me yesterday. They were
Oh,
like,
yay.
hey, we saw your video. We loved it. It means a lot. And I was like,
That's how you get it.
shout out to Innovative. I freaking love those cards. So yeah, going kind of running along the YouTube thing. Why haven't you been posting?
Because I haven't been traveling.
So are you trying to dedicate your YouTube to just like solely travel?
Yeah,
stuff?
travel vlogging stuff. But now that I'm like, I haven't been traveling, and I'm just like, damn, I want to release videos. Maybe I'll include food and
Because
thrifting.
you started, because you kind of labeled it as a vlog, right?
Yeah.
Well, a vlog doesn't necessarily have to equate to travel.
No, but
It makes it more exciting for sure.
yeah, it's just I've gotten a lot of feedback from my travel videos, and so that's what I want to shell out because that's what people want to see.
Right.
But I don't know. I'll experiment with like doing a thrifting vlog, and I don't know.
I think
like a
that would
food
be
vlog.
super cool. like you should. I would have totally watched a video of you pawning that the crane.
Crane too.
That would have been so cool. Like people people love that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know when I see the word vlog, I kind of think umbrella, like in umbrella terms, like vlog. A vlog can be this. A vlog can be that. And obviously, it just depends on what you want to do with it. But
I have a lot of things that I want to do. Like I have a lot of projects in my
things
mind.
yeah, I do too. Like especially for my YouTube channel, I have so many ideas that I want to pursue, but I just haven't. For me, it takes a lot of time for me to shell out one video because I got to pre-produce it. I gotta get the footage. It's just like
then you gotta edit it.
The struggle of making any video.
Yeah.
And like my thing is like I'd rather obviously quality over quantity, and like a lot of content creators on YouTube like it's like they're sticking to the schedule of like okay 2 videos a week, and like understandably like because they're making AdSense off of those videos, so like obviously more minutes watched on your videos equates to
more money,
and like I totally get that, but I'd rather take a month on and spending a lot of time on one video than just showing them out every week. But yeah, I would love to see more content from you on YouTube.
I'll do it. It's coming soon. It's just everything coming soon.
Coming soon. Cool.
It's hard to just juggle everything because, I have to work. I'm not full time at Vegas.com, by the way. I only work 29 hours a week. A lot of people think I work full time for some reason, but there's also like the freelance gigs I do on the side, and then I also trying to work on my own stuff, and so it's just a lot of juggling.
Because I think one of the last time it was a while ago. I think you said that you weren't taking freelance gigs anymore.
Yeah, that was like when I told you the very first time I started Vegas.com, but it's still half of the time I don't take him. I have to really like the gig to.
You're just really selective.
Yeah, I'm really selective now. Before I would just take anything, and that's how I got burnt out.
Yeah, that's really good though. Like I say that a lot. Like having the ability to say no to things. Like it's almost a skill because And that's really one of the big ways to pursue the things that you want to shoot is to say no to some crappy job that someone's offering you.
Yeah.
But that's really interesting. So so really you are taking gigs. You're just really selective.
Yeah, I'm really selective. Sorry, I didn't update you on that.
Well, that would have been good. So like what are you selective about? Like what are anything specific?
Well, I'm still I freelance for this marketing company. I've been doing their videos for almost 2 years now, but they're sweethearts. Like I have such a good relationship with them,
awesome.
and the events they do are fun. Like earlier today, I filmed Drake yoga.
Drake yoga.
When they did yoga to Drake music.
I want to try that.
It was fun. The yoga instructor was like, when you're in downward dog, you're like, all right, twerk your booties. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
But yeah, no, the Refined Agency, that's the company. They're really awesome, and it's a girl boss thing. Like everyone who works there is female.
Oh wow,
so
that's really cool.
It's pretty empowering too to just work with an all female team.
That's awesome.
Gigs, I do PA gigs with some of my friends from Toronto, I don't know. There's just something about like American sets versus Canadian sets.
Really?
Have you ever worked on a Canadian set?
No.
Oh, they're fucking wild.
Really?
Yeah. I love working with Canadians.
What the heck?
Yeah, and I haven't gone to Toronto yet, but that's on my list too. But yeah, I feel like they're just a little bit more lax. Mm-hmm. And just like, yeah, buy this food. I don't care. Here's your money. Just don't go over it. But it's funny because they don't know that I'm like a budget spender.
Right.
So the last
So
gig I
jokes
had,
on them. No.
yeah, the last gig I had. So first he gave me like $200 to go buy Crafty, and then I had to also buy a 1 terabyte G drive, and he gave me like an extra $80. So
I went to the thrift store and pawn shop.
No, I didn't go to the thrift store. And so I came back, and at the end of the day, I was like, here's the money you gave me, here's the money I spent. And he like looked at me, he's like, wait a second, you bought Crafty and a hard drive for under $280? What the fuck?
Damn.
Yeah.
Using them resources.
So yeah, if you guys need a PA that won't waste your money.
Resourceful PA.
If you want a resourceful PA, hire me.
Number is in the show notes and description.
Yeah, just take that money saved and pay me more. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'll just keep it. I'll just keep the change.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
Yeah.
awesome though. So yeah, anything else you're like particularly selective about?
I mean, music events are really cool to still do. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
Interesting.
If a gig pays me really well, then I'll take it.
Yeah, that's how I feel about weddings.
Yeah.
Like I charge super high for weddings, but if someone is paying me, like, cause I don't really like weddings, but if someone's paying me this much for a wedding, I'll like your wedding.
Yeah, you're like, okay,
You know?
yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, no, I love weddings.
Yeah, I that was one of my big problems when I was a freelancer back then. Like, I didn't really know how much to charge people.
Yeah, that's another big point too. It's like you got to know your worth, and that's something you won't know until you've been in the game for a year or two. Like you can't. It's hard to put a price on. It's hard to put your own price on what you're worth or what you think you're worth.
Yeah, it's good to ask advice. Like the gig that me and Jeremy did like a couple weeks ago. Like they gave me this budget. Like they gave me X amount, and I was like, oh. How is this pricing? And he's like, that's actually relatively low. But to me, I was like, I thought that was a lot.
Yeah.
So
And it's all relative to where you are in your career, Mm-hmm. Like, cause I said this last time. I was like, I did one of my first gigs. I was in high school, my senior in high school. I did a quinceañera for $300, and I was like,
you're like, oh, $300, that's a lot.
And
Yeah.
obviously you're a teenager in high school. It's like $300. Wow,
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
a
like.
lot.
But like, now as an adult, things just change, and it's like, okay, well, it's still a good amount of money, but like, I probably wouldn't charge $300 now for that.
Well, I mean, and you have all the quality gear now. And
Yeah, and it's just a different time. So that's what it's all relative.
Did you shoot it with your TI1 or T1i? T1i, I mean.
I did. The video is on my Vimeo. It's still on my Vimeo. One of the first videos I've posted.
Wait, is that the thing that Jeremy snapped to in your interview with him?
No.
First video?
That was my very first video. Was a marching band video I did when I was in marching band.
Oh, okay, I remember now.
Super bad. I had these. I started learning Final Cut 7, and like I thought effects were the coolest thing ever.
Was that your first editing program?
Yeah.
Mine was Sony Vegas.
Oh man. Yeah. No, I was able to get a copy of Final Cut from the school, my high school, and yeah, I thought effects were the coolest thing. So I just learned how to keyframe. So like I would keyframe those dumbest effect, these crazy blooms.
You're like words.
Yeah,
flying
so
across.
silly. I was like, and at the time I thought it was the coolest thing, but I was like, looking back, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure that's how we all are with our work from
Yeah.
like 15 years ago
Yeah.
or 10 years ago.
And that's why I said, it's all relative. So,
Just as long as you're growing.
exactly, it's all about growth. It's all about growth. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Where can people find you on the gram? Where can people find your super awesome thrift finds and delicious looking food? And
You can find me at rosemary.fajardo. Oh, wait, I should probably spell that.
You should.
Yeah, so it's ROSEMARY.FAJARDO.
dang,
For a second, I was like, how do I spell my name again?
is there anyone else that people can find you online? What about your YouTube? That you only have
yeah.
2 videos, by the way.
Shut up.
2 exactly.
Well, you can find all the links on my Instagram. So
Okay,
once
so
you're there,
on
you can hit everything.
Gotcha.
Have you ever heard
You're
of this
getting
thing?
your pictures being taken again right now, just by the way.
Me? Oh, okay, cool.
Like, yeah. I don't know.
I'm used to it.
For those listening, people, we're in a coffee shop right now. And
Yeah, we're in Vesta Coffee Roasters.
yeah,
They're
shout
like
out, thank
the
you for the
coolest-
location.
Yeah, they're my favorite coffee shop ever. I'm so glad they're open. They're downtown on Charleston and Casino Center. So come visit. It's very white and woody and minimal
Yeah,
and
very
hipster.
hipster. Yep, that's the word. And yeah, as long as we've been here, there have been a bunch of people taking pictures of our little setup.
Did this happen in the last recording?
Maybe like once,
Oh, yeah.
but definitely not as much as here. I don't know.
It's great lighting here. So
It is. They have these huge windows. I think a lot better than.
there's a garage door behind you.
Yeah, this place is super cool. Anyways, shout out to Vesta.
Woohoo!
Big shout out.
I wish I had your address. Sorry, I don't have it on my mind.
It's okay. They'll be in the show notes. But yeah, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode with my super hipster friend on
I'm not that hipster.
on networking. Super important in this digital age. And yeah, we're on iTunes now and Google Play.
Woohoo!
I just haven't really advertised it as much.
Oh,
I don't know.
Now
It's
it's the story.
yeah, it's really weird. I don't really like. I don't know. That's where that introvert comes out. Like, it's out, but I'm like, oh, I don't want anyone to see it. It's really weird. Anyways, so yeah, be sure if you're listening to this, be sure to leave a review on iTunes. Apparently, that really helps with people finding this podcast. If you were leaving me a review, Rosemary, what would you write?
Wow, you interviewed such a great person. I'm just playing. Wow,
Cool.
who's that girl with the round glasses? No, I'm just-
With all these cool thrift finds.
Yay!
That's cool. So yeah, be sure to leave a review, and obviously there's a video version on YouTube available. So give that a visit if you're interested in watching. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, everyone.